Hi friends, it's Pastor Ruth coming to you here as I do every Wednesday with a special message for the children of our church. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Pastor Ruth and I am the pastor of a church in Auburn, New Hampshire called the Longmeadow Congregational Church, United Church of Christ in Auburn. And our church is worshiping in a number of different ways. We're worshiping both in person as well as online. But I also come here every week to talk especially to the children of our church. And throughout the summer of 2021, I have been talking to you about heroes, both the everyday kind as well as the super kind. And specifically, I've been using the characters from the movies The Avengers to talk to you about different kinds of heroes and also what it takes to be a hero and how you can be a hero as well. And today is my last one of this series. It's the end of August, and so I would like to talk to you about some of the things we've talked about over the past summer and about a very important word, teamwork. Are any of you on a team? Do you play any sports, or do you belong to any organizations where you work together to get things done, whether it be the Scouts or a group in school or an organization that works to do good in the world? When we work together, we call that teamwork. And when people are a team, they're not all identical. They all have different skills and abilities that they can bring to the team, and it makes the team stronger. I'm going to put down my friends here because I'm having a little trouble juggling them, but they will be back as I talk about this. We have been talking about a lot of different people over the past summer. And some of them know each other very well. They are friends. They are friends from even before they became one of the Avengers. Some of them met after they became the Avengers. Some of them got along right away. Others, not so much. It took getting to know each other and to understanding each other before they could trust each other. Now, Spider-Man, he had some friends. He had his friend MJ and his friend Ned, who he knew from school. But when Iron Man came to meet him and talk to him about joining the Avengers, he did, and then he got to know some of the other Avengers, and he became friends with them as well. Ant-Man, when he started in with the Avengers, he didn't know anybody. In fact, he didn't know too much about himself. He had a lot of problems, but he got to meet Dr. Pym, and he got to meet the Wasp, and they became friends. It took a little while, but they became friends. Now, we've got our two brothers, Thor and Loki, here. Well, they've known each other since they were really little. They grew up together as brothers, but they had some problems. They did not always get along, and they struggled, as many brothers and sisters do. But they learned over time to get closer and closer and treat each other better and better and become stronger in their friendship, as well as just being brothers. They became good friends. Now, we talked about Black Widow. She became really good friends with Hawkeye, and she also became really good friends with Hulk. They had special relationships. Thor was also friends with someone called Heimdall, and Iron Man was really good friends. Before he became Iron Man, he was friends with Pepper Potts and Happy Hogan. And Captain America, he was best friends with Bucky. And after he became Captain America, he also got to know Sam and became good friends with him. Black Panther was good friends with his sister Shuri, as well as with Nakia and with Everett Ross, and eventually he even became friends with M'Baku. All of these people had friendships that were special to them, just like we all have friends that are special to us. Do you have a best friend, somebody that you share a lot with, that you like to spend a lot of time with? But are they the only person that you spend time with? Maybe your best friend isn't in your school class this year. Or maybe your best friend doesn't go to scouts with you or isn't on the same team with you. So we also develop other friends. We learn how to work with other people. Sometimes, like Thor and Loki, as well as Black Panther and M'Baku and other people, they didn't start off as good friends, but they learned how to be because they were willing to work at it. They knew that they would get something from the friendship and that they could give something in the friendship. Not all friends are exactly alike. Some of them are very, very different from each other. They have different skills. They have different things that they like and dislike. They have different abilities and talents. But being a friend is not about being exactly like the person. It's about being with the person, being willing to serve and help that person, and for just being there for them in your differences and in the things that you like about each other. But we're always better when we have friends that we can depend on, and we can count on our friends to be strong in places that we're not strong, to help us when we're struggling, and also we can help them. Jesus called together a group of people who were not exactly like each other. Now, some of them knew each other from before. There were two brothers, James and John. And there were other people who, kind of knew each other. Philip and Andrew were brothers. And Philip went to Nathaniel and said, hey, you got to come listen to this guy. And so some of them knew each other before, but some of them only met after they started following Jesus. And the only thing at the beginning they had in common was that they all wanted to follow Jesus. But over time they came to learn how to work together. They each brought different strengths and abilities, different opinions about things, but they could learn to work together. Our church today is exactly the same. There's some people in our church, they have known each other since they were little kids, and now they are my age. They've known each other for decades. And there are some people that only just met maybe last year. But we all together are strong. No one person is more important than any other person in our church. We're all important, and we all bring something to the church. And we are all called to be there for each other, to help each other in areas where someone is, maybe not so strong, but another person is. Or to just be there when somebody needs to talk, or maybe to go out and have fun together with somebody that you never knew. I heard that there are people in our church who are going out, they suddenly are going kayaking together. They didn't know each other before they joined the church, but they met each other. They found out that they liked kayaking. They started doing it. They invited other people who had never tried it, and now there's a whole bunch of them. And there's some people playing a game that I've never even heard of called pickleball. Never even heard of that before. And still not absolutely sure what it is. I know it's something like tennis, but there's a couple people who knew how to play and who invited people in the church and said, hey, would you like to do this? There are people in our church who are really good at building things and taking care of the building, and they all work together. There are other people in our church who are really good at listening and talking to people and just being there for them, and that's what they do. There are people in our church who are really good at serving other people, who have seeing where the needs are and bringing us all together to say, hey, there's a need here that I think that we can help with. Let's do this. And they're really good at organizing that kind of thing. We all have different abilities, but we all work as a team together. That's what it means on some level to be a Christian. Jesus didn't choose to work alone. He could have, but he chose to work with people. He chose to call people in together. And so part of following Jesus is to come together and to be with each other, to help each other, to have fun together, to serve others together, to be a team for Jesus. Will you pray with me? Lord, we thank you for calling us onto your team. Help us to support our other team members so that together we can support and serve all your people. Amen. I thank you for joining me here today and all summer long as we've been talking about these different heroes. Whether your favorite is Iron Man or Captain America or the Hulk or Black Widow or Black Panther, it doesn't matter because they all have different skills that they brought to the team. And I'm especially glad that you are on the same team that I am, that we can serve together. Thanks for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you next week where I'll be talking about a whole different subject. And until then, my friends, please remember, I miss you, I love you, and above all that, God loves you more than you can ever imagine. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.